A thing that I noticed is that people are afraid to live. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid to dive deep into what's beneath the surface. Afraid to poke and prod at what they deem as their so beautiful but fragile lives. And even if it isn't beautiful and it's chaotic and nasty, they still wouldn't let it go. Maybe it's out of fear. It's most likely out of fear. People would rather stay with the unknown. Would rather stay with the known than go into the unknown, because the unknown is scary. The unknown is unknown, and your nervous system is designed to protect you from the unknown, because the unknown is registered as danger. But who cares about any of that? Run into the fire. Jump into that bottomless pit. What's the point of living a life without risk? It doesn't sound like a life at all. And a huge part of actually living life, not for other people, but actually for you, is to figure out who you actually are and what you constantly run away from in you. Because life can't get no prettier unless you actually think that the person in the mirror is pretty too, right? Or handsome, whatever, right? So, a great way to do that, you know, your boy always got the answers to all your problems. You could just ask yourself a couple of questions, right? You could say, what are things I do to avoid my trauma? You can ask yourself questions like that. It's a little serious, but it's the truth. A lot of times for me, like, I used to run, used to suppress that, used to focus on anything else. But I learned better, but I knew better, because if I didn't unresolve all the things that I was trying to shovel behind me with all this work, then it would have stayed there like a ticking time bomb. Like a tree planting its roots, waiting to show its ugly head when I did not expect it the most. And the thing is that you'll learn is that when you're trying to change and get something new, that monster will show its ugly head and self-sabotage you because of fear. Fear of the unknown, once again. Fear of something new, because as long as that version of you still exists, it still wants to exist. As long as that version of you still exists, it still wants to exist. Just like any other thing in the universe, right? It will fight for survival. It will self-sabotage you when you expect it least. It will do everything in its power to make sure that you stay where you are as you are. But it's your job to be brutal with yourself sometimes, to move yourself, to push past that uncomfortable feeling that is being projected onto you, so that way you can actually get to that brighter future that you actually want. Because if you do not take that risk, then you cannot say that you are truly living life. And I see a lot of people, and it's no judgment to them, but I see a lot of people that they're older, like way older than me, maybe 20, 30 years on me, and they're working under other people in places that they don't want to be, living grumpy, that in places that they don't want to be, catering to people that don't really care and won't remember them in a couple of years. And it's just like, damn, I know they ain't want this. But at the same time, they did not go underneath the surface to uproot what was keeping them there. What was keeping them thinking that I deserve to be here. That was keeping them thinking that maybe this is what I worked so hard for. That made them forget about what their parents might have wanted for them. That made them accept what came their way. And like I said, no shade to them. Things happen. Things do happen. But sometimes you gotta say fuck those things. You gotta say fuck the world and all its rules. You gotta say fuck everything else, and I'm gonna do what I do. And I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna do it precisely. Because the best thing that you could ever be, bro, sometimes it's selfish. Be selfish. I ain't say be cruel. I said be selfish. Set those barriers. Set those limits. You could show up for your boss. You could show up for your teachers. You could show up for your parents. You could show up for your peoples. You could show up for your siblings. But you still fail to show up for yourself and show up on time. Because on time is early. And you still fail to be there. No one's stopping you from showing up for yourself besides you. And I promise you, there's still going to be people talking about but this, that, the third. You might even listen to this and thinking about and saying but this and but that. Nah. That's not you. That's the one that wants to survive. That's the one that's scared. That's the one that does not want to take that risk. That's the one that knows if you actually stand up, I'm going to die. I'm going to be left behind. But so what? Couple more questions to ask you, see yourself. If someone was talking behind your back, what is the thing they could say that would hurt your feelings the most and why? What is some things or things about your life right now that the younger you would be most surprised by? Would they be proud or disappointed? And what is a promise to myself that I keep continuing to break? And why haven't I stopped? What is something I've done that I haven't forgiven myself for and why? And as a child, what is something you wish your parents said to you more? I'm not going to say they're the simplest of questions, but they questions. Stop being a, excuse me, truth.